You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
That was Usher, and that one answer tells you everything this video is about. Usher Raymond was 13 years old when L.A. Reid sent him to live with Diddy in New York City. They called it the Puffy Flavor Camp. What happened inside that apartment, what Usher saw, what he learned, and what he said publicly about it for the next 30 years has never been told in one place. Until now. Because the same man Usher just refused to send his own child to is the same man he defended on camera 2 months ago after a federal conviction. And that contradiction is the story nobody has fully explained. The boy they sent to Puffy's house. Usher Raymond was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1978. His mother moved him to Atlanta when he was a child. By the time he was 12 years old, he had already decided he was going to be a star. In 1991, a man named L.A. Reid was running LaFace Records out of Atlanta. His younger brother saw Usher perform at a talent show and told him he had to see this kid. L.A. Reid brought Usher in. Usher dropped to one knee and sang End of the Road, and the song L.A. Reid himself had produced for Boys Town Men. L.A. Reid signed him on the spot. Usher was 14 years old and had a record deal. But L.A. Reid had a problem. Usher had a voice. Usher had talent. What Usher did not have yet was an identity. He did not know who he was as an artist. He did not know how the industry worked. He did not know the streets of New York. He did not know what it meant to move in the world as a black man in America in 1993. So L.A. Reid made a decision. He sent Usher to New York City to live with Sean Combs. They called it the Puffy Flavor Camp. Usher was 13 years old. This was not a summer internship. This was not a studio session. Usher moved into Diddy's world. Biggie Smalls was there. Lil Kim was there. Mack was there. Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige. This was the epicenter of Bad Boy Records at its most dangerous and most powerful moment. And Usher watched all of it. This is what he told Howard Stern about
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
He was 13 years old and he did not fully understand what he was looking at. But here's what nobody asked Usher after that interview. If the Flavor Camp was just about artist development, if it was just about learning the business and understanding culture, then why, 30 years later, when a man asked him if he would send his own son there, did Usher not hesitate for a single second? Man he refused to condemn.
I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made.
That was Usher 2 months ago, after the federal conviction, after the freak-off evidence, after everything the world had already seen. In July 2025, a federal jury found Sean Combs guilty of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, the freak-off parties, the victims, the hotel surveillance footage, all of it confirmed in a federal courtroom in New York City. 9 months after that conviction, Usher sat down with Forbes magazine. The interviewer asked him how he avoided the kind of negativity associated with Diddy, and Usher's answer was remarkable. He said Diddy had been misrepresented. He called him a really, really hard teacher. He said he puts respect on his name. Not one negative word, not one acknowledgement of the victims, not one moment of distance. Now here's what makes that even harder to understand. In that same Forbes interview, Usher explained exactly what he took from his time with Diddy. He said he chose a different road. He said he knew what he wanted. He said he could have gotten into a lot of stuff, but he chose not to. He chose not to. At 13 years old, inside Diddy's house, he chose not to. That sentence raises a question nobody in mainstream media has been willing to ask. If a 13-year-old child had to make active choices about what not to participate in, what exactly was being offered to him? Now listen to what Usher told Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay about what that time in New York actually gave him.
Man helped me understand life. He helped me understand what it was to be an artist. He helped me understand what it was to be passionate about something. He helped me understand culture. He helped me understand business on a different level.
Full admiration, no hesitation. Years before the arrest, years before the conviction, that is genuinely how Usher felt. And that is the contradiction at the center of this entire story. The man who taught Usher everything about life, about passion, about business, is now serving time in federal prison for crimes against the people around him. Usher chose a different road. But here's the question the whole world is waiting for Usher to answer. What did he see inside that house that made him understand, at 13 years old, that he needed to choose a different road at all? The question Usher never answered. Here's what the blogs missed. Every outlet covered Usher's defense of Diddy. Every outlet played the Howard Stern clip. Nobody put them together in chronological order and asked the obvious question. Usher has given 3 different answers about his time with Diddy across 3 different decades, and each one contradicts the last. In the 1990s, he lived there and said nothing publicly. In 2016 on Howard Stern, he described it as wild and curious and said he saw things he could not fully understand. In 2025 on Club Shay Shay, he called Diddy the man who taught him everything about life. And in 2026, 2 months after the federal conviction, he told Forbes that Diddy had been misrepresented and that his experience was not what the world had seen. 4 versions of the same story, each one slightly different, each one slightly more protective of the man who raised him. Here's my right on this. Usher is not lying. I think every version he has given is true from his own perspective at that moment in time. A 13-year-old boy who witnessed things he did not fully understand, who made choices to protect himself, grew into a man who genuinely credits that environment for making him who he is. Both things can be true at the same time, the darkness and the gratitude. But gratitude does not erase accountability. And the fact that Usher, a man who has children of his own, looked directly into a camera and said he would never send his child to that same environment tells you everything the formal interviews will not. Diddy is currently serving 50 months at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. His release date is now April 25th, 2028. When he walks out of that prison, Usher will have to decide one more time what version of this story he tells. And the question nobody can answer yet is this: when Diddy gets out, will Usher be the first person to welcome him back? Or will he finally say what that hell no actually means? 2 of the biggest names in the history of R&B. One of them is in federal prison. The other one keeps defending him in public while privately admitting he would never let his own child near him. Here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. Do you think Usher is protecting Diddy? Or do you think Usher is protecting himself?